Hey guys, welcome to Soul ReacTalk. Today I'm going to be reacting to the Templin Institute Stellaris Invicta Greater Terran Union. This is part 3, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, part 3. And if you want to check out my previous parts, I'll put the card out up here. Just click on it and you'll be able to access them. Okay, let's start.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
For decades, the Greater Terran Union had been confronted by a growing alliance led by their historic rivals, the Algan Republic. However, the rapid exploration and colonization of the Outer Rim had brought the GTU into contact with a powerful new empire known as the Terranisti Union. Surrounded by hostile alien nations, Terran High Command began developing a series of
Whoa, okay, Greater Terran Union, wow. And the Algan Republic and other nations, but wow, the GTU is big.
color-coded contingency plans outlining potential strategies for the most likely scenarios. In the event of war, the Greater Terran Union would not seek to merely defend its borders, but aggressively occupy enemy territories and planetary systems. At the dawn of the 24th century, the first of these war plans was put to the test. With Terran military forces concentrated elsewhere, the Terranisti Union launched a surprise attack into the GTU's lightly fortified Outer Rim territories. They seized half a dozen border systems in the opening strikes, stunning Terran planners who had long considered the Terranisti too distant to be a serious threat. War Plan Case Yellow was immediately executed, but with most of Fleet Command still stationed along the border with the Algan Republic and Rixian Galactic Directorate, several of the Greater Terran Union's newest colonies lay almost completely undefended. Right in the path of the Terranisti advance was the mysterious Doria system. Home to extraordinarily abundant mineral deposits, Doria's asteroid belt had been a prime candidate for exploitation. Yet mysterious sensor readings from deep within the system had delayed these plans. Memories of the disastrous encounter with the scavenger construct lingered among the marshals, and it had been decided to observe Doria until its true nature was discovered. When the Terranisti fleet arrived in the Doria system, the GTU's suspicions were confirmed. Hundreds of living attack craft swarmed from previously dormant asteroids, slamming into Terranisti warships, sowing chaos and confusion. While not enough to break their armada completely,
If you play Stellaris, you know what the narrator's talking about. That's all I'm gonna say.
by the time the Terranisti had recovered and scoured the creatures from Doria, Terran Fleet Command was ready. In what would later be known as the Battle of the Binary, the largest Terran task force ever assembled engaged the Terranisti, crippling their advance in a single decisive blow. Within 2 years, every occupied system was liberated, and the invasion of their space had begun. When the Terranisti were forced to sue for peace, the Greater Terran Union had seized much of their territory across the Outer Rim. Case Yellow was a success. The war against the Terranisti and the transfer of military forces to the Far Rim territories had emboldened the dissident elements of the GTU, especially within the volatile occupation sectors. On the world of Yidru, a planet-wide revolt by Rixian sympathizers overthrew the local Terran garrison and declared its independence. When Land Force Command fully mobilized and was able to respond, Yidru had already rejoined the Rixian Galactic Directorate. The loss of Yidru enraged the Greater Terran Union, and demonstrations took place on every world. Terran intelligence services had uncovered evidence that the revolt had been sponsored and supplied by the Rixian Galactic Directorate as well as its allies, the Algan Republic and the Phyraxian Union. With the territorial integrity of the GTU threatened, such foreign manipulations could not be allowed to continue. In 2314, the Greater Terran Union began assembling armies and fleets along the Rixian-Algan border that dwarfed even those deployed in the previous war against the Terranisti. On August 16th, Terran diplomats presented a 10-point ultimatum to the Rixian Galactic Directorate, which was given 48 hours to respond. When the Directorate refused and presented its own counter-proposal, the Greater Terran Union enacted War Plan Case Blue. Within the first year of the war, the Rixian Galactic Directorate had been decimated. Its fleets had been crippled in a series of engagements, and Terran ships roamed across its space with impunity, and Yidru was swiftly retaken alongside its surrounding systems. The greatest threat, however, remained the Algan Republic, and in a campaign echoing the strategy of the Perinisti, the Greater Terran Union began an enormous offensive across the Outer Rim. Lightly defended and home to only a scattered few developed colonies, the GTU seized dozens of systems. In 2321, after 7 years of war, the Algan Republic, Phyraxian Union, and the Rixian Galactic Directorate capitulated. The Algan Republic had lost nearly a third of its territory, while its allies had been removed as major powers in galactic affairs. The Greater Terran Union, by contrast, had won.
What did the Greater Terran Union do? All three enemies capitulated, and they garnered all of that territory. Oh, okay, GTU.
Control over huge territories in the Outer Rim, and cemented itself as the primary superpower in its region of the galaxy. Control of the Outer Rim brought with it enormous opportunities, and in the decades that followed, the GTU began a development campaign of unprecedented scope. Utilizing new technologies and methods previously only theoretical, entire worlds were terraformed to better suit human colonization. Settlements flourished into colonies that rivaled those of the inner core, new commissariats were established, and the entire Union prospered in this golden era. The destruction of the United Clans of Skiron in 2341 sent shockwaves across the GTU and ended any remaining thoughts of isolationism. While no longer formal allies, the United Clans had earned a special relationship with the Union, and their defeat at the hands of the Algan Republic could not be ignored. Within months of the United Clans' surrender, the Greater Terran Union declared war on the Algan Republic, this time not only to seize territory, but force the vassalization of their empire. Still not fully recovered from the previous war, the Algan Republic and its allies, now formalized under a federation known as the Compact, was reduced to fighting a guerrilla campaign. This was not enough to prevent the conquest of the Algan homeworld or many of its core systems, which for centuries had been deemed too heavily defended for fleet or land command to directly attack. In desperation, the Compact even turned to the Gelzen, fanatic zealots and marauders who had pillaged and warred across the galaxy for the highest bidder. While their raiding fleets were greatly feared even within the GTU, Fleet Command had been fully mobilized and the Gelzen were forced to retreat after suffering terrible losses. The Greater Terran Union had intended to replace the government of the...
Okay, usually that never happens to me. When an enemy empire hires a pirate fleet to raid and attack my territory, usually I don't have the fleet power, stationed in my empire to defend any of the worlds, because my fleets are like so far away. They're busy conquering my enemy's territory. So I don't have anyone back at home defending, and the stations are usually all converted into trade ports. So there isn't any kind of like defensive, strong defenses that can defend these vital and also fragile planetary systems. So yeah, wow. I have to give it to the GTU for planning out their defense and their offense so diligently like this. Quite good.
Algan Republic with one more amenable to Terran values. But the reality of the situation was far different. When an armistice was declared, instead of a smooth transition of authority, the Algan Republic descended into chaos. Rival factions emerged across its worlds, making higher-level negotiations impossible. The Republican Polenian States, a Terran-sponsored puppet government, achieved power in only a handful of systems, beset by bombing campaigns, civil unrest, and economic woes. As Terran advisors flooded into the Polenian States, the true cost of this victory had become clear. For over 300 years, the Algan Republic had been the Greater Terran Union's principal rival, a hostile nation, but a stable one, whose actions could be anticipated and counted on to act in its own best interest. Its fragmentation and collapse has left its region of the galaxy more dangerous than ever. Piracy and criminal elements have returned to lawless systems at a scale never before seen, while the Gel Zen and other marauders have increased their activity as well. Perhaps most importantly, the conquest of the Outer Rim has brought to the GTU strange new discoveries and insights. In a remote system taken in the closing days of the war, the Greater Terran Union has uncovered a strange new derelict unlike any before encountered. Whatever it is, it was of particular interest to the Algan Republic, and the GTU has continued their progress in unlocking its secrets. The wars against the Perronisti and the Compact may have dominated Terran affairs, but the true enemy has never been forgotten. The original invaders, the Tyrim, remain, and until they have been destroyed, every opportunity will be exploited, no matter the cost. In Stellaris Invicta, the Templin Institute guides the Greater Terran Union into an uncertain future, one you can influence. Every Saturday, we'll live stream our progress on our Twitch channel, and viewers and patrons will have the opportunity to vote on decisions, help name planets, ships, leaders, and more. If you missed the live stream, you can catch up on what happened when the stream is published the next day to the Templin Archives channel. Then, once a month, we'll produce a video like this one, detailing everything that's progressed in the Greater Terran Union's struggle to achieve galactic supremacy. The next live stream of Stellaris Invicta begins 1 hour after this video has gone live. We hope to see you among the stars.
The GTU's enemies tried to usurp their colonies. They failed. They united together into a federation to attack the GTU. They failed. Man, you can't beat these guys. You just can't beat these guys. And they have plans for each and every single nation that tries to attack them. And that's amazing. I mean, maybe because I play the game so simple, I don't really plan, you know, for my enemy's demise. I just go in guns ho, entire battle fleets, just attack. That's all I do. That's all I do. I kind of sound like a barbarian or some sort of bandit kingdom. But, you know, I just attack. I don't really have any strategy on defense at home or, you know, trying to attack my enemy in a very clever kind of way by using the environment to my advantage. I just research as fast as possible to get to battleships, and I start churning them out like they're sweets, and I use them to the fullest extent when I have to invade other nations. So yeah, that's all I do. You know, my main objective: get the alloys, get the technology, get the battleships, and be a warmonger. But man, the GTU, it's showing me different ways of declaring war and also having a defensive war, using the environment to your advantage, like how they used those crystal biological flying creature things. Yeah. I haven't really used that, you know. I've found that system time to time, but I've always been attacked by it, or even after building a station there, no alien empire tries to go through that system. So yeah, it's always been, you know, a trophy, just like all these other creatures that you have to destroy and kill, and also have a trophy of their heads or whatever body part in your relic collection or a monument on your planet, but never something that can be used like in terms of battle, like how the GTU used those aliens. So yeah, it's quite interesting. GTU. And they don't want to conquer the time, they want to eliminate them, to bring them to extinction. They want to destroy them completely, 100%. Wow. Okay. Dark path we're going. Very dark path the GTU is going. I wonder, will they turn back? Will they change their mind at that very last minute, or will they continue on with the plan to exterminate them into extinction? Okay, guys, that's it. Next week, part 4. Hope to see you there. Remember to give me a like if you like the video, comment and subscribe to my channel. Also, click on the notification bell if you want to be up to date with my latest videos. Okay? Bye-bye.